So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. I'm down here at the cabin this morning. It's first thing, and that is the insulation guys right there. They just came to measure everything up. Hopefully we will get that taken care of here in the near future. And since I had to come down and meet them, I brought some more red pine that I will stack and stick around the patio back there. So every time I come down here, I can't help to think about that movie, The Great Outdoors. Remember Trees in the Parking Lot? That was a great movie. That really was. They don't make them like that anymore. Nothing close to that. But it is a little chilly down here today. It's almost the middle of June, and I think it was 49 when I left the house this morning. I think tomorrow it's going to warm up a bit, but just for a day or two. Hopefully, though, the cooler temperatures last throughout the summer. I would rather it be, in the 70s, pretty much year round, than 90 any day. I like the cooler weather. So these are the stickers that I brought down, and I think I got 40 more 1x6s here, which is about 200 square feet. We'll need more, but I figure each time I come down I might as well saw a little bit on the mill, throw it on the truck or the trailer, and bring it with me. You can see how quickly this stack right here is getting a little darker. See where the sticker was? Now, I decided that instead of using a drum sander on this, I'm just going to use a handheld orbital sander before I put it up. And that'll kind of bring that color back. And all I really want to do is just knock the roughness off it a little bit. I don't want to run it through a planer. We're going to put this up rough. It's a cabin. Behind the insulation, we'll put like a black vapor barrier. So if there are little gaps between it, you won't see anything because it'll be black. But I think it's going to look really nice. And like I said, once you sand that stuff, it'll take the roughness off just a little bit, and it'll clean it up a little bit. Once I get this stack up, not this time, but maybe the next time. I mean, it's going to take a lot of wood because we're doing everything inside with wood. I'll bring some metal roofing down and we'll just cover the top. But this stuff dries fast. I mean, I'm saying a month and a half, 2 months, it's ready to put on the walls. You can even put it up green. It's going to shrink some. And then in the wintertime, when you're running the wood stove, it's going to shrink some more. In the summer, it'll expand a little bit. It's what wood does. But I look forward to it. I think it's going to be great. So I just realized something. It's pretty cool. It's about 10 after 10 in the morning right now. And what you see here, what I brought down, these were logs not even 24 hours ago. I think we started sawing, yesterday about 10:30 a.m. And less than 24 hours from logs to lumber, and stacked and stickered in another state. Not too shabby. So I have over 100 1x6s so far. I'll have to start to get an idea on how much we'll need. Like I said, next time I come down, I'll bring another 60 or so with me, and then I'll probably start another stack right here. I'm not sure what I'll need. I'll have to figure that out. So yesterday, when we were sawing that lumber, I was listening to a podcast, like a podcast interview, and boy, was it good. It was a interview with Thomas Massey from Kentucky, and it wasn't political really at all, but he was talking about, I had no idea. He built his own house, timber frame, has a sawmill. He's completely off grid. It's been taking him a while. It's not done yet. He's been working on it for, I think, close to 20 years. He powers the house with a Tesla battery that he bought from a junkyard and uses solar to charge it and sometimes a generator. Heats with wood. And yeah, he sounds like a handy guy. And I guess he took just a couple-day timber framing course, didn't know anything about it. And they had a big storm or something, knocked down a bunch of trees, which is when he bought the sawmill and decided they wanted to build a house. And it's been taking years, but it sounds like quite the journey. But really, really interesting. It really was. You look at all those people in Washington, you don't realize there's probably a few of them that actually know how to do some things. You know what I mean? Very few, but apparently he is one of them. Thomas Massey from Kentucky. But yeah, very, very interesting. When I'm running the sawmill or, you know, the excavator or skid loader or even driving down here, I always listen to either audiobooks or different podcasts. But there's all different sorts of things that I listen to, but I like information. You know what I mean? I like to see what's going on in the world and see how other people do things. And sometimes you learn something about someone that you had no idea, just like Thomas Massey. The insulation guys, they got here a little bit before I did, and they said when they pulled in, there was a big old doe over here, pregnant. Looked like she was ready to go at any time. I've seen a bunch of fawns this year, but I haven't seen one set of twins yet, which is kind of strange. I'll have to start checking some of the cameras I have around here. The other day I got a video of a doe and a single walking right down this road here. But yeah. But this was a short trip. We have to hit the road. I got a bunch of things to do at home when we get back. I may make the customary stop at Bass Pro on the way. I just like doing that. It's a good break. It's about halfway, give or take, and it's a nice place to stop, walk around for a little bit, see some stuff, and who knows, maybe pick something up. So I got back from the cabin a couple hours ago, took care of a few things, and just put the brush hog on the tractor because we need to mow some trails. It's about that time of year, things are getting grown up, and I haven't brush hogged the trails yet, and I want to get it done soon because like I mentioned the other day, the LX 4020 and the brush hog will be leaving, and I'm not sure how soon I'll have a replacement. So we need to get the trails taken care of, but first I got to show you the deal of the century. So check this out, Yamaha EF3000i SEB. It is a inverter generator, 3,000 watts. Nice and quiet. It weighs, I think I read 149 pounds. It's pretty heavy, but it's on wheels. And the best part is the price was $0. Some friends of ours are moving and they're kind of purging a lot of their belongings, and I offered to pay him for it. He wouldn't take a penny for it, and it's very, very nice of him. It's a really nice generator. It is. I've got a couple of them. But this one will be good down at the cabin, actually. A 3,000 watt will definitely run everything I need down there. We have a few battery banks that will be able to get through like probably 3 days just using like LED lights, and then you could charge them up to probably 80% with this generator in an hour. So I think that's going to be the initial plan at the cabin. Now I'm not sure how long this gas has been in here. It's running fine, but I think I'm going to run it for a little bit. You know what, while we're doing that, we might as well charge something. So that generator has a 3.4 gallon fuel tank on it, and it says it will run 19 hours on that at a quarter load. As far as charging the mower goes, I unplugged it from the generator since I'm leaving, but at the rate that it was charging, it said it would be fully charged at 2:02 a.m. in the morning, and right now it's 6:30 in the evening. So it takes a while. It does, which makes it, but yeah, that makes sense, because I think they told me it would take like 20 hours or 22 hours for a full charge, and that's charging off of 110. You can also charge it off 240 and it'll charge overnight. So just some information. Looking better. All right, I made it down to my mom's driveway. This is probably the roughest part. From here up to our house is probably a little over half mile, but there's some real steep stuff and some real, you know, a lot of side hill. But I got down to here and I was gonna mow along the driveway, but one of these days I'm gonna have to put the stream back where it belongs. Gotta be real careful here. It's the last couple floods that we had, as you can see, there's not much between here and the edge of the driveway. This pole's coming out. They got an X on it. There's a new pole there. But yeah, that stream needs to be kind of put back over that direction. I could probably come right down the trail with the excavator. Yeah, that should work. So it is first thing in the morning, and I am going to resume trail mowing here in just a bit. But the other day, I mentioned in a video that occasionally I may start including a little content about the Civil War and going over some of the things that my dad collected over the years from the Civil War. And I mentioned that, and I talked about possibly starting another channel for it, or maybe just including it on this channel every once in a while. I still don't know what I'm going to do, but I was in the building there reading some comments, and comments are like getting a Christmas present from your grandmother when you're a kid. You know you're going to get something, but you're not sure what that's going to be. But Harv, he says, please let us know what videos are talking about Civil War content so I can easily skip them. I said, sure thing, Harv. When I get up each day, that's my goal. Make Harv's life easier. All right, we are headed out on the trails. Once I get this all done, maybe I'll hop on the four-wheeler and we'll do a time lapse kind of show you the whole trail system we have here. Right now I'm at the lower wood yard and I'm headed down to the pond. This section never needs mowed, but when you get up the hill headed towards the old apple orchard, it gets pretty thick up through there, and we may even mow the meadow up in the apple orchard while we're over there. I haven't been over there in probably, it's been a couple months, easy. Alright, so I made it up to the old apple orchard. I got things widened out pretty well, but we just have so many invasives. They come creeping in on the trail all the time, but I did get it widened out a little bit and cleaned up. And if you're wondering why I call this an apple orchard, it's because it used to be one years and years ago. I believe this is the only remaining apple tree. But it's crazy how things grow up. You know, when I was a kid, there were just apple trees in here in nice rows, and they produced a lot of apples. And then over time, it all grew up in maple, cherry, and oak. And then probably 4 or 5 years ago, I came in here and cleaned out a lot of the underbrush and smaller trees, and just kind of made a meadow in here, left a few trees. But I'm gonna walk through all this before I mow it, because it's that time of year. Those fawns, that would be horrible. I don't want to hit one of those. So I gotta take some time here, walk all through here, because what they'll do, they'll get scared. They'll just lay right down when they're real little, and you'd hate to hit one. It's not real high. All right, I've been all through here a couple times. I think we're good. And by the way, if you ever wondered why I wear light colored pants like this, it's because it's very easy to see ticks on there. Even if you're wearing blue jeans or something, you just can't see the little buggers. People are always asking about that. What do I do about ticks? Not much. They don't bother me too much. Normally, I don't know, once or twice a year, I find a couple. And if they ever get dug into you, I just call like a teledoc thing. I had to do this a couple years ago. I got it out, and they give you one of those big, it's an antibiotic. And I think if you take it within like 48 hours, it greatly reduces the risk of Lyme's disease. But I never had like that bullseye or anything that they talk about. I usually get them before they get me, but they are a pain in the neck. They really are. Got everything mowed up here in the orchard. Next up, we're gonna head down over the hill here. It's only about maybe 200 yards down to my mom's place. A little steep, a little bit of side hill, but it's not near as bad as the hill going up to my place. So we'll get this knocked out, do a little mowing down at the driveway, and then we'll take a ride on a four-wheeler once I get back to the house. right, so I got the main trail done, the one that goes from here all the way down to the pond, up over the hill to the orchard, way over that way, down past my mom's, across the driveway, up the hill, come back in here to the new road. That's the main trail. Then we have another one, you know, we got some side ones going off here and there, but another one from out at the new meadow that heads over to Levi and Kate's house and down to Maple Grove. I may hit that one this evening, but this works good for mowing trails. I didn't say great, it works really good. It's just a tractor and a brush hog. It's so long, you know, it's more set up for mowing fields. Obviously it's a tractor, and we have so much of that invasive stuff. You have to get so far off the trail because it grows up and over. You got to get so far off the trail to get it cut off and mulched up with a brush hog. The best way to do it, and they're expensive, is a brush hog for the skid loader, because that way you could turn on the trail, kind of reach up, knock all that stuff down. Tractor works good, like I said, and it's all done, but I think a brush hog on the skid loader would be better for trail maintenance. You know, they have flail mowers, forestry heads for the excavator. That would be an option as well. They're real expensive also, and you only do it like once or twice a year, usually twice a year. So I don't know, but I may make a change at some point on the trail maintenance. We'll just have to see. It's not the mowing that's the tough part, you know, what's on the ground. It's what's coming in from the sides is what is kind of the pain in the neck, you know what I mean? So it's good for now. All right, we're going to speed up the trail ride here 2 times normal speed. We just left the house, headed down to the wood yard. You kind of snake through here. I need to move this one IBC tote. It's right in the middle of the trail. Gotta go around that. This is the lower wood yard. Hey, there's a full firewood basket there I keep forgetting about. That was my emergency one for last year. Anyway, we're down here, make a hard right, and the pond is about 100 yards ahead of us right here. Come down here, you make a hard left. All through this section, there's really not any mowing that needs done. It gets used quite a bit, and there's just so much canopy on the trees, not much grows. So we went across the dam of the pond, back through the oaks here. It's real pretty back through here. Put a culvert in right there last year or the year before. And up here we're going to make a sharp right, and we're going to head up to the old apple orchard. Cruise up this hill here. It's all kind of washed out and rutted up, but for the four-wheelers and the side-by-side, it's totally fine. And you come up here about another 150 yards or so, and we're running into the property line. We are on my mother's property right now. Property line's right at that tree line. Hang a left, come down here. This is the old apple orchard that I talked about earlier. It's all grown up. This is what I mowed earlier right here. And we're going to hang a right and go down over this hill. It's pretty steep. Nothing on video ever appears as steep as it really is. Cruise down here to my mom's place, and then we'll continue down her driveway here in a second. Okay, we're heading down my mom's driveway here. This is where it intersects with my sister's driveway. Just go to the right. Down here another 100 yards or so, then there's a hard left. You cross the stream. All through this area, we're kind of going to be running parallel to the driveway going to my sister's on this section of trail. But boy, the deer are always in this area right here. When I was a kid, none of these trees were here. People always ask me about why I don't plant trees. This is why. There were no trees there. They just grow. That's what they do. Cherry and maple. And we're coming around a bend here. And we're going to start the climb up on top of the hill. This is a steep hill right here, but I'm getting after it on that 850 ultimate trail. That thing rips. It does. I don't get too carried away, but it'll run. It really will. So we're almost up to the meadow here, a little bit further, and we'll be popping out here in just a second. And if you look close, for some reason there's a deer in the brush pile. Look right to the left real quick. I'll stop it. But anyway, I think that's about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the ride along. Appreciate y'all being here, and I will catch you on the next one.